Hello, guys. I want to talk to you about why I believe that Rey is a terrible Jedi. Let's consider that she's only been on the planet. She's been on the planet for literally 18 years of her life, or 19, and yet she is already in control of a lot of things. She's already inspirational. Now, that would make sense if she's literally been given everything on a silver platter. I mean, she beats Kylo Ren, and I still don't accept any explanation of how she beat him. It's ridiculous. I mean, because the Force called out to her. Well, maybe it could have done that, but she still needs to learn how to harness that power that the Force has given her. And if she's only been doing that for a couple of minutes, even if she had an advantage of the Force was on her side, that should have only been enough to allow her to escape from Kylo Ren, not to beat him. So with that in mind, it's like, why does the Resistance send Rey? They barely know anything about Rey. Why is Rey so special? And yet she's of no particular important lineage, according to what Kylo Ren says in The Last Jedi. Why is it so important that she go to Luke? I would have been more interested if, say, one of his students, say, who had escaped the attack on the Academy by Kylo Ren, was at the Resistance base and was the one that was sent there. Rey gets involved through some other means. She gets involved in the larger scheme of things through different means, not being the one who goes to see Luke Skywalker. I would like that because it would help to show Rey that she's not the only one who has a stake in the fight. That she's not the only one who's important. Um, and also, I mean, she's barely. I mean, she thought that the Jedi were a myth. They were. Han Solo was more of where a lot of her interests lay, right? Than the than Luke Skywalker. For her, the myth of Han Solo, his great triumphs, his great exploits, those were more important to her than the exploits of Luke Skywalker. And yet, she's the one that goes to see Luke Skywalker. She's the one saying, "You need to train me. The First Order is going to take over." How come it's not Leia? How come Leia doesn't go? It seems like a better idea to me after she hasn't seen her brother for so long. That would be bittersweet. That would be great. But Rey decides to go. And Leia never manages to see her brother in the flesh except as a projection. That to me is unacceptable. Um, and also, when we consider that Rey barely knows anything about being a Jedi, she has untapped knowledge. But at the same time, it takes time to understand that knowledge. It takes time to decipher that knowledge. And considering that she's been living on a desert planet and scavenging star destroyers and all other manners of vehicles and machinery, um, I don't see how she would be a very good teacher in spiritual matters and force matters. It doesn't really make any sense to me. She she could understand a cursory understanding. If you look at the training scenes, you can see the so-called training scenes in The Last Jedi. You can see that Rey doesn't understand anything about the Force. To say you can move stuff with it, and Luke Skywalker, he somewhat laughs, but he's somewhat taken aback by her. She's not all that serious. She's looking for a kind of a magic trick to kind of elevate her, rather than a serious study in something that's very, very powerful, and very volatile, very hard to control. So in that sense, Rey cannot be a teacher. She cannot really be a leader. other than for the fact everything's been handed to her on a silver platter. She's endured through some hardship, but when she goes to the Millennium Falcon, everything goes right for her. Everything goes right, pretty much. I mean, I will consider the counter argument that yes, she doesn't get all the answers she wants. She gets scraped by one of Snoke's Praetorian guards, but does anything really bad happen? She makes a mistake on that ship with the Raftars. I'll consider that. But how many mistakes has she really made? How many mistakes has she really made? Not much. I mean, and people, let's consider this. She's going to be a Jedi. Let's look at how she was the first one to attack Kylo Ren. Like not the first one to attack, but in a sense, the way that she attacked, she didn't attack like Qui-Gon Jinn. She didn't attack like Obi-Wan Kenobi. She attacked like she was full of rage and anger. That's not a person I would want to be teaching me about, uh, teaching me at the academy or the new temple that they were going to build or rebuild, one could say. And if you look at The Last Jedi, um, Rey's actions, the way that she attacks, is very un-Jedi-like. In Return of the Jedi, yes, Luke Skywalker did try to strike down the Emperor in anger, and he did go on a rampage against Darth Vader when he even suggested that he was going to turn Leia to the dark side. But there was a foundation for that. Rey just seems like she just swings her lightsaber wherever she can. She doesn't seem to have any real meekness. She seems very arrogant about her ability to change things. Even though she's barely had any training and she's barely been in this context of interstellar struggle. It's I don't think she's a good teacher. I don't think she's a good Jedi. I don't think she can be a Jedi. I mean, look at Anakin. He spent 10 years training, and he was a great warrior, but he was still greatly flawed, and he ended up turning to the dark side. He ended up becoming Sith because his passions got the better of him. If you look at Rey's conduct throughout the entire of these two movies, you see her fighting style is very erratic. Her emotions are not in check. Yeah, Luke Skywalker got angry, but he knew when to step back. He knew when the Emperor was manipulating with him. And that was with him having go through real struggle, real teaching moments. And Rey hasn't gone through any of that. So that is why I consider Rey to be a terrible Jedi.